Oh my goodness. So much has happened since March prac.
Oh my God.
We haven't recorded since then, and now it's the end of March and we're finally back in the studio together. And for those of you who are listening at home, this is just the next episode of the podcast, right? So you haven't noticed it. However, for us, we've really noticed it, and there's been so much happening in our private lives.
Yeah.
We've got a really exciting family holiday coming up. So I've got 4 children coming. So we've got Jack and Jenna, we've got Joe and Ambrosia, we've got Cameron, and we've got Imogen all coming on a family holiday out with us, joining Flynn and cute little Hazel. By the way, she's started to crawl. It's super cute.
Oh my God. Did I know that?
Yep.
Like, what do you mean? I need to see that.
She crawls and it's hilarious. She does not crawl normally.
Oh my God. Okay. I need videos of that. And ideally to see it for myself, and you're about to jet off, which I'm super excited for you.
Yay.
And I've just got home. So I'm actually excited to be in one place for a hot second.
You've been little Miss Jet Setter.
I have. I've been to Melbourne, and then I came back to the Gold Coast for one night. Then I went to Perth. Then there was going to be a cyclone.
And let's face it, you saw the quokkas.
I saw quokkas, guys. It was a whole thing. I know that you're laughing because I love little animals and whatever. I do love little animals.
Do you know why I'm actually laughing? Because she actually rang me and said, this is the voice she used, I had an intimate moment with a quokka.
Feel like we were best friends. Like, don't make it weird. They're actually so cute though. However, when I first got there, like Grace came with me. I know people listening to this likely know who Gracie is. So Grace came with me, and I got there and I expected to get off the ferry and to be like greeted by all these little creatures, like literal like Snow White. And I like got off the ferry and I'm like, where are they? What do you mean? We went and hired bikes. We went and drove up to the basin. If you've been to Rottnest Island, you'd be familiar with it. It's this absolutely freaking stunning, gorgeous, gorgeous beach. Went for a swim. Still no quokkas. I'm like, have I been stitched up here? Like, is this like people going to Tassie and they're like, want to see a Tasmanian devil, which like doesn't happen. I'm like, is that this? Like, where the hell are these little creatures? Anyway, they were all at the bakery. So I found them in the end.
At the bakery. They were waiting for their food.
Yeah, they're at the bakery going, someone's going to give us scraps. I didn't, because you're technically not supposed to do that. You're also technically not supposed to touch them. And I just gave it a little pat.
I'm pretty sure I've got a video of you cuddling one.
I definitely didn't pick it up, but I just a little like finger between the ears, a little scruff.
A little nuzzle.
Little nuzzle. Anyway,
So
it was
cute.
the best. And then went back to Melbourne to avoid the cyclone. And now I'm home. So I'm excited for you to go on holidays. I'm excited to be home for a hot second.
That's so great. So we want you to watch this podcast if you're completely tired of sabotaging everything good in your life.
Yeah.
And I think one of the things with sabotage is that people don't realize they do it until after it's done. And it's only on reflection that they go, oh, I sabotaged that thing.
Yeah. In the moment, it can be very like, oh, this is just how it goes. And it's just all happening. And then with like a month later, 2 months later, it's that ability to look back and go, oh shit, like everything was actually working.
I did the same thing again.
Yeah. I repeated that same pattern, whether it was in my business or relationships or in regards to health. It is something that is, it's like annoying. It's so annoying when you recognize it in yourself. You're like, I did the damn thing again. So we're going to really dig in to different areas of life and help people recognize where they're potentially doing this.
And before we start that, I want to ask you a question, because I know this definitely used to happen for me a lot.
Mm-hmm.
When you were younger, did you ever get that feeling that everything is going too well right now? It's like everything's so good, something bad must be about to happen.
Yeah, something that like saying I hear in my head when you say that is like waiting for the penny to drop.
Yeah, or it's too good to be true right now. And I think that a lot of you who are listening have had these moments where you're like, everything is going really well. Where's the danger? And there's a reason for that, right? Because your brain is actually designed to look for danger. So when things are going right in your world, your brain actually gets even more on high alert than when things are going bad, because it's looking for the danger and it's like, hey, where is it? What's happening? What's going on? And this we'll tie back into this at the end of this podcast, where we'll actually show you how your brain actually manages to self-sabotage, because it's actually quite a unique feature of a human brain.
Yeah.
And it all starts with that everything's just going so well right now. There must be something about to go wrong.
What's the problem?
Yeah. So let's talk about self-sabotage. Like, I know that a lot of people self-sabotage in business. We see this all the time with people who are just starting out. They're like, they have all the right intentions. They've got all this energy. They're like, I'm going to start a business. I'm going to get to 50K a month, 100K a month, a millionaire. I'm going to do it all. And they have all the right drive, energy, and attention.
Yeah.
For a grand total of about 3 weeks.
Yes. It is actually quite fascinating to watch. And I feel like we're in a really privileged position to see very similar patterns play out across a large like cross-section of population, right?
Yes.
Like we work with so many different like business owners of different kind of service-based business, I'd say is our bread and butter. And though that includes coaches, it includes astrologists, it includes
beauty businesses.
So loads of different businesses, and yet we're seeing similar patterns.
Yeah. And what happens is I call it the 21 days of doom, right? And it's like you get to day 21 and it's like, are they still going to show up? Are they going to keep going? Is this going to be a thing? And then it happens every 21 days.
It's so funny. I know you're thinking of the same client I am right now, and like, bless her, we love you.
Every time, like clockwork on the 21-day mark, the same thing. I'm just going to burn it all to the ground again.
Like, no, you're not, darling. Keep going.
And this is where coaching comes into play, right?
Absolutely.
Because that day 21 of doom is where, you know, your river is nicely flowing towards the ocean, where everything exists. And then all of a sudden you just go off on this little tiny creek tributary and nothing happens down there except a swamp.
Oh my God, that's so great. I love that's where your visual went. My visual went, just to bring it back to small little animals, my visual went, the river's flowing, everything's working, and activate the beavers.
Oh, the beavers dams the river. I love it.
And they come in from every angle and they're like, no, stop the flow of water.
Actually, that's probably a better analogy because they're just stopping the flow straight there, which is exactly what people do when they self-sabotage.
Yes.
They literally stop their own flow. And we often talk about things like discipline and tenacity being some of the key drivers to get you through that self-sabotage pattern. But what does the self-sabotage pattern look like in the first place? Because I think a lot of people don't recognize it when it's happening and therefore cannot actually implement the discipline, the tenacity, and the drive to get through it.
Yeah, I think a really great thing for people to like drop into and ask themselves is like, how great do you allow it to be before you create a problem? And I say create a problem because even though they may think, no, but that's outside of myself, or like that was somebody else's problem that they brought to me, you have on some level unconsciously created it. So how great did you let it get before you inserted that, before you were like, oh, there's no leads now. Like you have this influx of leads, maybe you do a workshop or a masterclass and you get an influx of leads and then it's like, oh, but there's no one wants to listen to me anymore, or everyone's ghosting me in the DMs. It's like, what has actually changed just before you've had that realization?
Yeah, and when that's going on, there probably are still leads.
Yes, of course there are.
The people are probably still there. You just probably forgot to post.
Mm-hmm.
Or you probably forgot to actually message them and talk to them. And something that's interesting in building a social media-based business is that it's social. Like I feel like that's a newsflash to people.
Yeah, it really
like people think they can just put up an AI post and they go, yep, sweet, I've covered up the 3 points or whatever it is, instead of being real. And the thing is that you have to actually show up and be social. You have to talk to your potential clients. You have to talk to your audience. You have to get to know them. You have to actually give them something that is of value for them to want to keep following you and actually talk back to you.
Yeah, there is a huge, I'm going to use the word entitlement. Like there's a huge level of entitlement when it comes to social media-led businesses. And it is this like weird like concept of like, I've started a business, here I am, where's my 20K month? And it's like, if it was any other business, you'd be fucking mad. Like, and yes, it can happen. Like it absolutely can happen. And like it's not the norm. Like it's like anything. You need to put the reps in, you need to build it, you need to gain momentum, you need to give value. Like you need to be having those exchanges. Like you said, you need to be messaging people.
You actually have to talk to them. You have to actually ask them if they want what you've got.
It's literally like opening a store and then just going, come on, why am I not sold out? And it's like, hang on, what are you doing to bring people in the door?
It's like opening a store and leaving all the blinds down.
Yes.
And not even putting the open sign on it.
Yes. So people are like, Cool. What even is that place?
And we often see this after people come to our NLP training. They run, and it feels like a lot because prior to coming to the training, they thought their lives were busy.
Yeah.
And actually during the training, they realized that it was just busy with drama and problems that they'd created. Mm-hmm. When they get rid of that, they then go into busy mode, which is way busier than what they were before they came to the training. So they feel like they've done a lot in a week. And quite often I have to remind people after the first week out of training, hey guys, it's only been 7 days.
Yeah.
Because we offer a beautiful post-training support, which, for a month after our training. And I often get on that 7-day Zoom call with them and I go, how's everyone going? Oh, I haven't sold anything yet. I'm like, it's been 7 days.
Yeah, it's wild. And they're also, I'm like coming into bat for them here. There's this weird feeling that happens after, like when you do, I'm going to say integrated NLP, like you do that first 7-day training, completely freaking blows your mind. And you walk out of it and you literally start living in dog years.
Yes.
Like 7 days is 7 years. And so I
because
get
you
feeling.
Fit so much more into a day because your brain's not, full of drama.
Yeah, there's no clutter anymore. It's like you have this huge big like, oh, I've got clarity. Oh, I know that I want to do this and I want to do that. And like you said, you're achieving lots more. You're way more productive. You are definitely doing the right things to gain a result, although you just need to do it for a little bit longer.
Yeah. So that's one way they sabotage. What about in relationships? I think definitely what I see people do in relationships is they do this weird pull away thing. And it's something that perhaps I'm a weirdo, but in all of the people I've dated in my entire life, I've always said I love you when I feel it.
Yeah, you're a lean in kind
right?
of. Right,
so I always lean in. And I was kind of like, if they don't want to say I love you back, well, maybe they're not for me. And equally, maybe they just don't know that they're ready yet. However, when I'm ready, I'm going to say it.
Yeah.
And typically, being the beautiful kinesthetic person that I am, I would say I love you probably on the 3rd date, which for people these days feels like this huge momentous occasion. And it's like, it's just a feeling, guys. Like I'm just expressing the feeling that I'm having. However, I know that people sabotage themselves by not expressing that feeling.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like they have it and they don't express it. Or they pull away when things first start to get good. Like a relationship gets really good and then they'll create some kind of drama. Like they get really happy and all of a sudden they get sick.
Yes.
Or they'll push people away that treat them well.
Yeah, I can definitely see how, and little side note update, guys, without going fully into it, your girl is open and is dating.
Woo-hoo.
And I've been having really great experiences. And through having really great experiences, it's been like blatantly obvious, like how I have self-sabotaged in the past. And I know that we've talked about it a million fucking times. And you like need to see it and then experience it for yourself. Or the contrast of to be like, I get it. I was doing that thing. And my favorite flavor of self-sabotage in relationships in the past was always around like, I'm just going to find a problem. It was like this treasure hunt of what's wrong with them. Like there has to be something wrong with them. So let me just find it right now. As opposed to going, hey, let's just be present. Just be present, you psycho. Like just be present and let this man just be the man in front of you. Like why do you have to find the problem? So,
and I think that actually comes from a pitfall of personal development.
Oh, absolutely.
Actually, right? So we teach people, write your list. Yes. What do you actually desire in a guy? Or what do you desire in a woman? Write it down, become your list.
Yeah.
And I think everyone got that bit right.
Yeah.
However, then what they did, instead of going in looking for the list, they went in looking for what's not on the list.
Yes.
So they didn't go in looking for communicates well, is expressed. You know, they went in looking for where they didn't have those values or looking for the problems in their language where they talked about a value that might have been a little bit off, or they go in looking for what they don't have.
Yeah.
Because they're trying to eliminate fast so they can move on to the next day instead of wasting time. And that's just a function of society, right? Everyone values time right now. So people are trying to do it quicker. And actually you need to go in and every time they do something that is on your list, put a tick.
Yeah.
Go, oh yes, that statement there meets my list, instead of looking for the statement that doesn't.
Yeah. It's that same concept, right, of how good do you let it get before you have to go looking for a problem. It's like, I can definitely see in the past, like I've had great connections with people and like largely I feel like I could talk to a plank of wood.
Sure.
Which is like, I've made that a problem in my own mind. And it's like, I have a really great connection with somebody and instead of like just relishing in the fact I'm having a great connection with them, it's like, oh, this is good. So what's wrong? So it's that exact same pattern playing out in a completely different way.
They kind of run around the wheel of life and they're like, okay, looks good in health, looks good in finances, looks good in fun. But what? He doesn't talk to his sister? Oh, he's definitely not a family man. I'm just going to not date him again.
Delete.
Like, what? Hello? Like everyone has their own challenges.
Yes. Yep.
And so,
human.
So I think you hit the nail on the head when you said, okay, I can see it now looking back, right? So you've done the self-sabotage in the past. You're now having great dates, which are you're making you feel great, and you're actually starting to learn what is great about dating people.
Yes.
And looking back, you can see that self-sabotage pattern. However, at the time, you couldn't see it.
No, you just feel like you're like smacking your head against a wall, which is the same really in all these contexts, right? Like I guarantee the people that are currently self-sabotaging in business,
they think they're working hard.
I'm doing all the freaking things. Yeah. It's like, are you?
Yeah. And the answer is no.
No.
So I think the thing is that when we self-sabotage, because it happens in so many, like basically all areas of life, right? So like with money, if you suddenly come into a large amount of money, so many people just spend it.
Yeah. I feel like money is such a great one for people to really get the upper limit. Because if you think about, and this is a story that you see, I'm going to say all the time, however, it's definitely not all the time, but it's a story everyone can relate to. Yeah. Someone wins the lottery and they like blow all their money, and then like 6 months later, they're like back in their job and they're like living at the same level of lifestyle that they were previously. It's because that's what their life is like calibrated to from that upper limit perspective. Yeah. So it's gone over the limit, and then it's like, okay, well, life happens to then bring it back down to what they're comfortable holding.
Yeah. And I think with that, it's like, if you earned that amount of money, or if you won that amount of money, it doesn't really matter which way you got it. If you can't handle seeing that amount of money, then you're going to avoid looking at your account. So you're a millionaire because you won $1 million in the lottery, yet you never look at your account until all of a sudden you tap your card and it doesn't work.
Yeah.
Right? Because they're just avoiding money. And just because you have money doesn't mean you're good at money.
Yeah.
If you have money that's making money and you can then hold money, then you're good at money. But a lot of people make money and they have no concept of how to hold on to it.
Yeah.
And they're like, like it blows me away when a 22-year-old who's epic at business, they do a 20K month. They never thought about it before. They start a service-based business. They do a 20K month. And then you talk to them about something that they might want to invest in for their business, and they're like, oh, I don't have any money.
And you're like,
how? How did you spend $20,000 in 1 month?
Yeah, it's wild.
And they go, I don't know. That's the worst bit. It's not like they went on a grand holiday or bought something tangible. They just went shopping.
Yeah.
And so I think that we have to, again, like this sabotage pattern just keeps playing out. And it actually starts when we're really young.
And most things do.
Yeah. Like even before the age of 3 with the sabotage pattern. So by 3 years of age, we've learned how to know what's good and know what's bad. Know what we're allowed to do and know what we're not allowed to do. And it's really cute watching Flynn, my grandson. He's currently 2. And today we were at swimming and they had the sinkies, like they're little things that sink to the bottom of the pool, and they're just learning how to dive down and get them.
Oh my God.
And he likes diving down to the platform, which is kind of halfway down. And every now and then he has to dive down to the bottom, and he doesn't really like that all that much. And today he grabbed one of the sinkies and he threw it at another little girl. And he didn't mean to. However, it did hit her. And I just said to him, say sorry, mate. And his little face. There was no way he was going to say sorry. He thought he was in trouble. He's like, you'll see mummy now, because I had him in the pool. Aww. And it was like I was getting him in trouble. And I was like, I've never actually told you to say sorry before. So where's this coming from? And so then what I did was I just said, look, it's not okay to throw things at other children. Did you hear grandma? Yes, mama. Okay. Can you say sorry? And he just, however, on some level, he knows that he's done something wrong. And he's 2.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Right? He's 2 and he's already formed an opinion that if I'm telling him to say sorry, he's done something wrong, and that means he might get in trouble.
Yeah.
Yeah. And because of that, like 2 years old, that's created in his little brain a little warning sign.
Yeah.
Right? If someone tells you to say sorry, alert, the amygdala fires off, danger is about to happen. You're about to get into trouble.
Yeah.
And we do our best to deconstruct any of these kind of programs that happen to any of the children in our world. However, it still happens, right? We're human. And so that he's got that little alert and he's 2 years old. Now, if you're a child that has had multiple alerts like that through your life, then self-sabotage is going to be one of your favorite flavors.
Yeah.
Because wherever you look, there's danger.
Yeah.
Even though now as an adult, it's not actually dangerous. Even though now as an adult, it's not actually creating the same outcome. Even though now as an adult, you have choice, what happened in your childhood has created the program that has set you up to self-sabotage.
Yeah. It's like anything outside of my self-concept isn't safe.
Correct.
And so it's like, this is all safe because it's in my little bubble. And as soon as it's outside of that little bubble, like fires the amygdala. Can't cope, need to exit, need to sabotage, bring it back in.
And we most see it in our speaker training.
Yes. Right? Oh my God, yes.
Where people pay money to come and have an on-stage experience to learn how to speak and deliver their message to an audience. And then they stand and we give them all the tools and resources and then they stand at the edge of the stage and go blank.
Yeah.
And it's like, what are you doing? And it literally comes from a childhood pattern where when they spoke, they got in trouble for speaking. And as they're about to stand on stage and speak, that little amygdala fires off in their brain and says, warning, danger.
Yeah.
And nothing comes out of their mouth.
Yeah.
And so when you look at that, a lot of people don't even remember what happened when they were a child. It wasn't like they got yelled at every time they spoke. They don't even know that there's a piece of trauma sitting in there that's running that program for them.
Yeah.
And so when we talk about their upper limit is it's okay to talk to my friends. Standing on a stage talking to people I don't know is not okay. And that's just a program inside their mind. And the great thing about that is that programs can be reprogrammed.
Yeah. I think this is like the most freaking like powerful realization that any adult can come to.
Yes.
Because it's like, sure, children are children. They're not supposed to make sense of the programs that are running. However, once you're an adult, like as soon as you can really grasp this, you have the most incredible opportunity to get in an environment where you can like generate safety.
Yes.
So that you're able to actually get in there and change the program.
And when we say generate safety, that environment is inside of you.
Yes.
So you need to be in an environment that can hold you until you're safe.
It's going to be fully accepting of your entire expression so you can have safety in all of it and have evidence for it.
And this is where those riverbanks come in, right? As coaches and trainers, we are the riverbanks for people. When people come to our integrated NLP or they come to our speaker training or they come and coach with us, we're putting the riverbanks in and we're walking a few steps ahead so that if those little beavers come to try and build their dam,
it's so funny that I'm there catching beavers.
Yeah, basically Caity is picking them up and cuddling them, having intimate moments with them while I'm clearing out all the sticks that they made a mess with.
How did we get here?
Because I love a good stitch back. Right?
The visual. I'm never going to live this down. Me picking up people's beavers. It's like, that's not okay knowing that a beaver maps across to something else. So let me make it clear we're talking about animals.
Oh my goodness. I did not even think of that. Although now it makes sense why the guy that's sitting behind the recording desk here is killing himself laughing. I hadn't thought of that. And that makes it really even more funny.
Delete.
Okay. She's picking up the little beavers that have built the dam, okay? And I'm picking up the sticks and clearing them out of the way. We're being the riverbanks for you so that you are moving towards what you want.
Yes. Yeah.
And we do that until you create enough safety in self that you are willing to be responsible for your own river.
Absolutely. Yeah. And that's the most empowering place to be. And I really love, like, I'm such an introspective person and such a reflective person. Like, I recently had a birthday. Every year on my birthday, I write myself a letter. It's one of my favorite rituals ever. And in doing that, like, one of the best things, like the realizations to drop in is, oh my God, my like upper limit
has moved up.
Yeah, is so much higher now, which is like so great when you can look back and recognize, oh, okay, I did the scary thing. I invested in the scary thing. Yep. I put myself out of my comfort zone in XYZ environment. And now look what I'm able to hold. Now look who I'm able to be and how much different that is to the year before or the year before that. Like, it's actually really beautiful when you get that, when you get to have the reflection and instead of going, oh, there was the pattern again, there's the pattern again, you get to look back and go, oh my God, I broke
the pattern. I broke the pattern. I broke the pattern.
It's really cool.
And that's where integrated NLP is really handy, right?
Absolutely.
And it's like what's brilliant is that this is not just something that you come into a 7-day training and it lasts for the 7 days. It actually rewires your brain. It actually reprograms your brain so that when you meet that new upper limit, you have the tools and resources to break through that and then break through the next one and then break through the next one. Like it's literally a gift for life.
Yeah, it completely changes your entire life forever. So if you're somebody that's listening to this, watching this, and you're feeling like, oh gosh, like I'm unsure what my upper limit is or how do I identify it, and you feel like you need a soundboard, book a call with us.
Absolutely. Jump on the phone, have a chat with us.
Yeah, we'd love to have a conversation with you and discuss how we can help you go to the next level.
And get rid of those self-sabotaging patterns that have been holding you back.